You've probably seen the Florida Man meme. Pretty much the joke is that it's a state where people do disproportionately nutty things. We're going to take some of these stories that you know and love to the Am I the Asshole subreddit, where people vote and decide, obviously, if a person is the asshole or not. We're going to play a little game. Whatever comes up on the Florida Man generator, I will have to try to concoct a story out of it, giving context to the events, and for me to win, the voters must determine I am not the asshole. Considering some of the heinous acts that Florida Man has committed, this will be a tall task. Okay, it's time to see what the result is. Florida Man breaks into home, steals alcohol, falls asleep on couch. You know what? I feel like this is not the worst role I could have gotten. I can make my alcoholism sympathetic. We can say I lived in the home, I was friends with the guy. Okay, I'm going to read you the story I have concocted. A couple of months ago, I was in a dark place as far as alcohol was concerned, and this is certainly not one of my prouder moments. My friend and I used to share an apartment until he kicked me out as a result of my drinking. After making some calls, unfortunately, no one would let me stay with them. I lived on the streets for the next few days, spending what little money I had left for food and booze, as I was also unemployed at the time. I tried sleeping in a couple different spots, one of which where I was chastised by police, and another where a fellow homeless person became angry at me as I was infringing upon a location that they occupied. Feeling scared and alone, I decided to use the key I still had to my former apartment where my friend was still living and break in for the night. I will admit I drank some of the beer in the fridge, as I had no self-control at this point. I planned to leave before he awoke, but early in the morning he caught me. He is pressing breaking and entering charges, currently pending. I have since been to rehab and am working a menial job while trying to get my life together. This case is certainly complicating things, but I fear I may deserve it. I just want to move on with my life. Am I the asshole for asking him to drop the charges and give me a break? Okay, so now it's time to see how this goes over. We're gonna go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, we'll see what happens with this post. This post has been removed by the moderators of Am I the Asshole? I wonder what rule they might have struck me down for breaking. I'm feeling a rant coming on. Is 14 rules not just a little much for a Reddit page? I mean, is the internet not a place where we're allowed to have fun anymore? Well, they do say about Reddit mods that they were just the kids who were bullied in school who now want to take it out on everyone. We're going to take our business elsewhere to the Am I Wrong subreddit, where hopefully their policies are not as fascistic. I'm going to post this thing and check back in a couple hours. So this post ended up getting quite a bit of attention. It has 7,000 views, and they are not a happy bunch. Suffice to say, the angry mob has come down upon me. You are absolutely wrong about this. The charges he filed against you are the consequences of your own actions. You got sober, that's wonderful. But part of staying sober is dealing with the mistakes we made. You're completely wrong and utterly insane for thinking you should drop the charges. I don't even know you and I'm rooting for you to go to jail. You terrorized this dude when you lived with him, and then you broke into his house and stole his alcohol. That must have been absolutely terrifying for him. From just a few paragraphs, your delusional levels of self-importance, addicts in the grip of addiction usually are. You are wrong. Have fun in jail. But not all the replies were so bad. Leave it to good old Danny DeVito to have some empathy here. You're wrong, but I don't think you deserve to be bashed for it. People sometimes go to dark places and struggle. I know all too well. It's unfortunate you can risk jail time just because jail isn't really accomplishing what it should be accomplishing. You need/needed help, and I hope you get it. Whether you deserve jail time or not, I hope whatever the outcome is can help you grow stronger from it. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like that was a much more level-headed response. There were people who took the middle ground, like this guy. You should get charges, but playing devil's advocate, you still had a functional key. Former roommate or landlord should have changed the locks while there was an unaccounted for key. So you're not the absolute worst, and I hope you get help. Shouldn't have done it, but part of it is on the roommate/landlord, but most of it is on you. And that's from someone who spent their 20s doing some stupid-ass shit. You are bipolar and are drinking. Wow, we even got a medical professional to weigh in here. What a luxury. I would pursue changes. You are a danger to yourself and others. So after a day, this post ended up at 15,000 views. It's kind of hard to believe. Tell me if I'm crazy. I am siding with Florida Man after all, but I don't feel like this is a lock him up and throw away the key type of situation. It wasn't right for him to do what he did, but he was homeless at the time. He had just lived in this place 2 days ago. I don't really think prison is gonna help this guy. And I feel like the responses that we got here is kind of an example of the righteous indignation you see on social media a lot of the time. These same people would probably be pissed off if they found out that I was shitposting, like I'm just wasting their precious Reddit scrolling time. That's just how I see it. You could let me know in the comments section if you feel differently. And be sure to subscribe, because if you enjoyed this, we're going to be revisiting this series, I can imagine, because this was fun.